Değerli izleyenler, NBA'de asistanlık yapan, bir All-Star maçına çıkan ve şampiyonluk kazanan ilk Avrupalı koç ve nihayetinde NBA'de baş antrenörlük görevini üstlenen ilk Avrupalı koç Igor Kokoskov, Fenerbahçe Beko'nun baş antrenörü aynı zamanda. Kendisi TRT Spor'un konuğu oldu. Hem sezonun geride kalan kısmını hem de bundan sonrasını konuşacağız. Coach, thank you for your time in this busy schedule. So it has been almost 6 months since you came here. What were your expectations before coming to Turkey, to Fenerbahçe, and what did you find currently?
I mean, thanks so much for having me on your show. It's a pleasure. Yes, it's been 6 months. The schedule is frantic. It's really busy. We have sometimes 3-4 games a week, and to be quite honest, I don't have too much time to think and overanalyze previous week or previous 6 months. But overall, you know, I'm not surprised with anything in terms of I'm European myself, grew up in Europe, coached in Europe before I went to NBA. So I know Fenerbahçe very well. Fenerbahçe family, culture, expectations. So I've been here 5 years ago. I spent 10 days with Obradovic in this group. So to me, just everything that I expected, even better. So it's just great honor to be here, great honor to coach this franchise and being part of the Fenerbahçe family.
I am going to ask you about the current season, but you spent 20 years in NBA. That's why I have a few questions from there. Last season, you were a part of Sacramento organization with Luke Walton. Also, you were coaching Phoenix Suns before that. I wonder, how did Luke Walton react when you told him about your decision?
Yes, I've been 20 years. I spent the last 20 years in NBA as assistant coach and 1 year as a head coach. I left an NBA job. I was still on a contract with the Sacramento Kings. Before I came here, I didn't look for a job. I was still on a current contract with Sacramento Kings as a lead assistant of Kings and Luke Walton. I had 2 more years on my contract. It was kind of tricky and difficult because I needed approval from the team to let me go, because at that time I was under contract and Sacramento Kings can easily say no, because again I was leaving NBA, I was leaving job, I was leaving contract that I had. So that's not the reason why I'm here. The reason is not that I was looking for a job, because I didn't have one, and money is not a primary reason why I'm here. You know, I was still under contract with the Phoenix Suns, even today. You know, like I'm still on this contract as a head coach of the Phoenix Suns, and the reason I'm telling you this because how much I respect Fenerbahçe organization, Turkish basketball, and just leaving NBA job as a lead assistant, one of the prestige teams and leagues. To be part of the Fenerbahçe family is just a compliment to organization. But 20 years in NBA is just a long time. I've been through 7 different teams. I coach a lot of different teams, different environments, different cultures. And overall, I'm just blessed that in many ways I was a pioneer. I always say I wasn't the best European coach. I was the first. It was just circumstances, luck, being fortunate. But I was an entrepreneur, just one of the. It is easy now. It's easier now. The time it's internationalization of the game, globalization of the basketball. So it's a little bit easier for basketball players and the coaches to have even executives, you know, scouts to create a contact with NBA, because NBA is more open than 20 years ago. 20 years ago, NBA was a different world. It was an untouchable world. It was impossible for international foreign coaches to get approval to watch practices. So I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, we could talk about this career much more, but our time is limited. One last question about NBA, about Phoenix Suns seasons. The team was struggling for consistency maybe, but a lot of players had a chance to improve. So when you look back to that season, what do you think now?
Well, as a coach, you learn a lot from winning games, and you learn even more for losing games. The biggest compliment that I was getting from my colleagues, from head coaches at other teams, we had the youngest team in the league by far. Our average age on the starting lineup was 19 and a half. And if I go over and over to the list, what I had to deal with as a head coach in that time, losing general manager 10 days before season starting. It's never happened in the history of the American professional sports. Not really having point guards, youngest team in the league, and you can over and over and over. So it was a very, very challenging situation. I learned a lot about myself, about this job, about coaching, about people. And it was quite an experience. I wouldn't change it for anything. You know, that's a job that you don't pick. You know, being head coach in NBA, your job picks you, and that's why I got no regrets. If I can do it, I would do it again. But you know, sometimes there is a perfect fit for a certain coach, and I didn't feel that it was a fit for me, and we just made a neutral agreement. But again, it was a great experience, and I'm glad I did it. You know, just the repeating same thing. You know, just the biggest compliments I was getting from the colleagues, that how much respect they had for what we're doing and what we did as a team, and that's a very, very challenging season.
Yes, I also read their statements about you. There are a lot of positive things from players, coaches, and journalists. So current season, so Fenerbahçe was the lowest scoring team in EuroLeague a short while ago, but you climbed up in the last 5 games and you averaged 98 points against Pana and Baskonia, and before that you win 3 games in a row. So what changed in the team?
Well, you know, the pace of the game is starting with the defensive stops. You know, defense, I think it was more solid, more sound. We simplified defensive coverages. We play with better energy. Rebounding was something that I think we really focused on to improve and get better. Because, you know, playing hard, whole possession without rebounding is really, it's worthless. So I think rebounding was better, and more weapons on the court, you know, making threes. It helps you to, in those games when we were high scoring games, we shoot more threes, we made more threes, and that's what helped us to have more scoring games, higher scoring games.
Yes, Coach, I remember the press conference after Žalgiris Kaunas game. You answered like 1,000 questions. You were sad but patient at the same time. You stated that, and I am not forcing to play my style of basketball. I am trying to adapt the pieces that I have. So maybe Goodrich addition has been a key role and the increasing performance of Wesley, but can we explain this change by only these players? Besides that, what did you change? How did you adapt?
I think the fans, Fenerbahçe fans and people who follow basketball, they understand we have 19 guys injured this year. We had a lot of games that Nando didn't play, who was the head of the snake, we call the leader of this group. Some games Wesley was missing, etc. So the current addition was Marko Goodrich, who already played for this organization, and I think he's helping us a lot. But you know, if I would go through I want to share something with the viewers and the fans. But also, if I go through the list, what was happening in terms of injuries, circumstances, guys who they couldn't play, etc. It would sound like I'm looking for excuse, and that's not what I'm doing. As a coach, you always take responsibility first, and take full responsibilities. I really strongly believe that coaches are losing games and players winning games. So when we're losing games, full responsibility goes to the coach.
Yes, Obradovic was like that. He was always taking responsibility, same like you. And we are having a different season in EuroLeague. I think being qualified for top 8 will be harder than previous seasons. But you are in a good run now. So what should Fenerbahçe fans expect in the end of regular season? Where do you see your team?
We never, ever, since I got here, had any calculation in terms of that this game is more or less important. Our approach was always the same. Did we always play smart basketball and good basketball? No, we did not. But, our approach in terms of the playing hard and giving our best for Fenerbahçe, to represent Fenerbahçe organization, yes, we did. When you start losing, you don't play well. And a lot of people miss switching those two things. When you don't play well, they're talking about an effort. And a lot of times coaches are hiding behind the effort, like we didn't play hard. Playing hard is not good enough. You have to play hard, that's a given thing. But if you don't play well, if you don't make those threes, then it looks like effort wasn't there. You're losing confidence. Losing confidence, a lot of time we're just, it's a misperception about, not playing hard and losing confidence. So to answer your question, our approach is going to be the same. We're going to fight. We're going to be prepared for every game. We don't have the luxury to take some games more and some games less serious. So we'll fight with whoever is playing right now. Obviously, we're missing some guys right now. Missing Danilo Bartel is a big, and not just the fact that he's a great player, but just how important he is in terms of the rotations and the stability, etc. But it is what it is. So focus forward, energy, effort is going to be there. That's a given thing. And now we have to play smart. We have to play well, and that all combined give you a chance to win the games.
Yeah, coach. I know coaches don't like to talk about individuals, but you had some additions in the middle of the season. So today you explained Kyle O'Quinn addition to your roster, and you know that player very well from your NBA career. What should we expect from O'Quinn, from Kyle O'Quinn?
So
how do you define it?
Yeah, you know that I don't like this question. You still ask the question. So
yes,
okay.
I have to.
Okay,
it's just a new transfer.
Yeah, Kyle O'Quinn, I coached him for half of the season in Orlando when I was with Orlando Magic. That was 5 years ago. He was still a young player. He's a veteran player right now. So I think with his presence is going to definitely help us. There is a reason why we decide to make that move. He's a great guy, fits great in this culture because we have a lot of good guys. And we have a healthy environment, healthy locker room. He's going to improve even more. Hard-working guy, always tough, fearless. He's going to compete. He's going to play hard. And I think from that point of view, I think the fans are going to appreciate the energy that he's going to bring to this team.
Also, Marco Goodrich looks very mature on the court, and he started to contribute as soon as possible. What do you think about him now?
Well, he's excited to be back home. I had to be quite honest, no secret. I had numerous different occasions we spoke about even before he got here. His future was in NBA, but he decided to come back in Europe, and this is his home. With all respect to Red Star, I think when he got here, he made his name and improved a lot. He made himself as an NBA player. He developed an NBA player, but just the circumstances, bad luck, a lot of things didn't go his way to establish himself in Memphis, which is fine. I think he's a different player right now, more mature, and his role in this team is different than what he was given this team 2 years ago. He's one of the leaders, one of the go-to guys, one of the franchise players. It's a lot of responsibilities, but he seems like very excited, and that's what he's looking for. He was looking for that next challenge, next step that we're willing to give him, and we need that as a team.
Under the rim, you have now Vesely, Ahmet, O'Quinn, and sometimes Danilo Bartel and Hamilton. Are you going to move on with him, or did you have a talk with him?
No, I got to, first of all, he's still with us. He's our player, and that's something that is that's not something that I wouldn't really there's no reason for us to discuss. He's a part of the team. He is with us, and whatever. I can dress only 12 guys. I can play in a good game, 9 to 10 players, and we understand. We're Fenerbahçe, we have high standards, and whatever team needs, whatever game needs, that's somebody has to make a decision. That's my job.
Also, I wonder the current situation of Alex Perez. How is he doing right now?
Very unfortunate situation. We love Alex. He's a good player. He's somebody that we needed badly, and there's a reason why we made a decision to sign him in the middle of the season. Unfortunately, when Nando was out, it was a perfect timing for him to perform, to establish himself, to get used to a new system, new style of basketball, etc. But he got hurt, so he was missing. He was out of the rotation, out of the practice for a month. Now Nando is back, Bobby Dixon is back, and then we're trying to find those minutes that he needs to de-ice himself. He's got to get that rhythm, and which is not easy. Again, we're patient. We know why he's here. We know he's capable. So, no doubt that he's going to help us. It's a long season, and we still have very high expectations from Alex.
Even when you were working as an assistant coach, your teams had always your team always had a player development focus. So there are a lot of positive statements about you in that case. So maybe Ricky Rubio, Goran Dragic, Devin Booker, and Donovan Mitchell. I read their statements about you. So there must be something special. So how do you approach to players?
Yeah, it's a good question because the answer is really about our coaching staff. Because we have a great coaching staff and a great player development program here in Fenerbahçe. From Erden to Rado to Serhan to Timoci, Berkay, like all our assistant coaches are doing an unbelievable job on a daily basis because, our schedule really dictates that we can't have a lot of times, we can't have a team practice. So a lot of practice is just individual workouts, developing, teaching, watching a lot of film, working also a strength conditioning team, so it's a mix. And, the old days when it was just a team practice and play 5-on-5, it's over. Not just in NBA, obviously in NBA first, but in EuroLeague, same. If you have 4 games in a week, the player developing program is so important. And Fenerbahçe basketball coaching staff, all assistant coaches are doing an unbelievable job working with these days every day.
Coach, as you know, there is a conflict between EuroLeague and Fiba. And as far as I remember, you were coaching Serbian national team. You came here for Valencia game, and then you went to Finland to coach Serbia team again. So I think it hurts European basketball a lot. What is your perspective?
Yeah, it was a quite experience. I'm pioneer from that point of view. Like nobody did, like traveling to the bubble and going through. I was doing PCR tests in a car. So they picked me up from the airport and I drove to somebody's house. They did a PCR test. Now I was driving from that house to the arena and waiting in Finland, so waiting for the doctor to call the arena to let me get in. And I was walking 5 minutes before our last meeting with the team. So that's insane. That's insane. But, Fenerbahçe is my job. It's and coaching national team is pleasure. It's just an honor to represent your country and your team. So regarding the conflict between EuroLeague and FIBA, it's a very naive point of view when the media and fans are saying this is bad for European basketball, which is true.
Also national teams.
And national teams, and who's going to benefit from this? I think there is a very logical reason why the only profitable league, basketball league in the world is NBA. Nobody else is making money. So hopefully someday EuroLeague is going to be good enough, strong enough from the financial point of view and marketing point of view to start accumulating money. And we're not that close yet. But someday we will. In the meantime, this conflict is destroying European basketball in terms of the developing another strong professional league and affects the national league. But I think it's a great thing for NBA. I think we still got so many great players coming from Turkey, from Spain, from Slovenia, from Serbia. So we're going to produce young players who at the age of 18, 19, 20, they're going to go draft and they're going to go to NBA. And I think that's, nobody can stop production of the young players, and they're coming. But it's a weakening, definitely making EuroLeague weaker, and the national team is going to play, those NBA players are going to play World Championships, maybe, and Olympic Games, maybe. So I think it's a great thing for NBA, and as long as this conflict exists in Europe, I think that the NBA it's a great thing for NBA.
Fenerbahçe is a great arena, and the fans have a basketball culture. When you were visiting Jelko Obradovic and Fenerbahçe maybe 5 years ago, what did you think?
I think it's the NBA environment. The fans are involved, engaged. They're very passionate about a team. They care, but they know the game. They're not just soccer fans. Like a lot of teams have a soccer fans that just cheer obviously for a team, for a jersey, for a logo. But these Fenerbahçe fans, they know basketball also, and just coming to arena and the whole vibe, whole energy before the game, I felt like this NBA game.
I'm going to give you a few names, my last question. Maybe you can tell what they mean for you in your life shortly. Quinn Snyder?
Quinn Snyder, genius, basketball genius. He's one of the brightest basketball minds right now. probably on the top elite NBA coach right now. Utah Jazz is a sleeper this year. They have a chance to win a championship, and watch it in June. They can be in NBA Finals.
Yeah. John Hammond.
John Hammond gave me first NBA job. He's a dear friend of mine. He is many years. He was assistant coach in NBA and executive. He was the general manager of Milwaukee Bucks for years, and a dear friend of mine. He's unbelievable basketball mind. He just, he was almost 40 years in NBA.
Larry Brown.
Larry, 2004 winning championship, NBA championship with Detroit Pistons, being in 2 NBA Finals. When you watch the game and you see the team who is winning, they're in a huddle together. The team who is losing, they're out of huddle. So I'm still talking to Coach Larry Brown because we have great memories, great things that we accomplished together. And actually, I was working for him, so we didn't work together. But Larry Brown is a Hall of Fame coach, and those 2 years when the Detroit Pistons were in NBA Finals, winning championship, that was the probably peak of my coaching career.
And Iker is looking at to me. That's why Jelko Obradovic.
Jelko, genius. He's you need you have to describe and explain who some people and introduce some people. Jelko Obradovic is a brand. He is the most successful coach in European basketball, and his work speaks for him. He doesn't have to say one thing about himself. He's just his trophy is just the best proof that who he is, and lasting in this business so long is just proving that he is really special in terms of the coaching, and one of the living, still living legends.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank
you
so
for
much.
your opinions in this limited time. Thank you again. Evet değerli izleyenler, NBA basketbolunun en tecrübeli isimlerinden Fenerbahçe Beko'nun ve Sırbistan milli takımının baş antrenörü Igor Kokoskov'un görüşlerini aldık. Bir sonraki röportajımızda tekrar görüşmek dileğiyle. Hoşça kalın.